Hello, everybody, and welcome to TFT Tinfoil Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about time travel, and I am joined by the most awesome of co hosts you could ever have. It's Booster.
It's me. I'm the most awesome.
You are the most awesome. You're my
Oh
favorite
my god.
anyway. Don't tell the others.
Ah, I won't. I won't. I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
Well, I will. I'm gonna rub it in Denali's face.
Yeah, you do that. You do that. But we're happy to have you guys here on this wonderful Sunday evening. I guess is what it is. Sunday evening for you guys. It's not for us. We're in the damn work week over here. I'm glad you guys are enjoying a Sunday. However, we got some interesting conversations with time travel. We're going to be getting in here today, and I'm glad you guys are joining us. Do us a favor and
Hmm.
keep in mind that this is a live stream, of course. So hit that share button. Let everybody know what's going on so they come over here. Keep in mind, we all have our links down below. Please check them out. But other than that, it was kind of interesting to me, Booster. I went in and started
Mm-hmm.
doing the research for the show, as I always do. And I couldn't find anything to sink my teeth into with time travel. It's a little
What?
different. Yeah, well, no, it's a little bit different than the other stuff because there's always some kernel of truth or some really compelling evidence, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
fun to talk on. Time travel, it's all hearsay and lookalikes, and there's nothing really concrete, man. It's there's still a lot
Are
to
you
talk
su-
about, but
are you suggesting that if time travel were true, that sometime in a supposed future we may have invented it by now, and there would be evidence throughout the past, like absolute evidence, and that so many time travels would be happening at the same time at different times, uh, amassing into an absolute universal destruction.
You're talking about paradox of some kind, I'm sure. So maybe it's happened. Maybe that's why the world is so weird. We are just in a time loop
Okay,
of the
I can believe
worst
that.
possible choice of time. Maybe that's what it is. But
Speaking of time travel, you and I live in the future from our audience, Chester.
we do, we do.
We
That
do,
is true.
yeah. Is that time travel? I think so.
Burn them at the stake, Nixie says. I agree. You should kill the bird. I
No,
agree.
don't burn my steak. I like it medium rare.
That's true. I do too.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but we're definitely going to be getting into it.
That was a
There are
really
some.
shit joke.
Yeah, I know it's all right. But it was in time. It was wit. It was wit. It was working.
Boom, boom.
But we got some interesting things to talk about, nevertheless. So let me go ahead and do my little intro spiel as I always do, and then we'll start looking at stuff. So let me see here. I guess I should share with the booster so he can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. That's imperative that I know what you're talking about. You know me. I'm gonna chime in every once in a while with snarky remarks.
It's true, and that's good.
Uh,
So here we
uh.
go. Now, of course, time travel. Time travel? Time travel? Well,
Time.
I guess
Hmm.
they're all possibly time travel. Of course, the last one would be my most favorite, but there's nothing real about that one. But there, a lot of the stuff of surrounding time travel is quite interesting because what it comes down to is photographic evidence. Okay, so we have just here in this little collage, we have this lady on a cell phone. Is it really over here? You guys, I don't know if you can see me pointing at it. I think you can. Right over here. There you go. This lady with a cell phone. But the thing with that is though, that if you watch that video a little longer, you'll see that she actually takes her hand down and it looks like a piece of cloth. I think she's actually wiping sweat away from her jaw, actually. Who is Rudolph Fentz? Indeed, who is he? This is Basaggio. He's a little boy, and he says when he was a little boy, he was part of the Montauk experiment, and he got sent in time. And this is him watching Gettysburg Address. Sweet. Down here we have mystery hipster guy who looks totally out of place. He looks out of place. Then over here we have what Marilyn Monroe, ooh, looking hot, looking hot. Let's give a little bit of amen for that. You're supposed to
Oh
say
my
amen.
God, that's Brie
Amen.
Larson.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. There you
Amen.
go. And what is this lady holding? Is that a phone? And we have another one here. Let's move on with this. Oh no, is this a
That
Rosa
looks like
Parks
Brie
reference?
Larson.
Is this a camera? And here's that little boy again. But here's the thing, though, guys.
But
One thing about photography that a lot of people don't really understand and shocking that they don't seem to understand this. The camera was invented in the 1830s. hmm hmm Now, people seem to think it's a modern invention. We have a lot of photographs from the Civil War, guys. A lot. We even have photographs of Abraham Lincoln himself. No, we do. And another thing about cameras and the whole camera effect or lens effect, they've known about that since Greek times, right? Because a lot of the evidence that we're going to be talking about today is photographic. And that lady sitting there holding that camera, that right there is a Pentax, I do believe, and they've been making cameras for a long time. There's nothing weird about that picture at all, right? But yet people, oh my God, it's a camera! Look how small it is! Look how modern it is! Actually, it's not weird at all. We went through a phase where cameras became very small, and then because during this Art Deco period, everything was about that slick, cool look, right? And then we went through a period where they got bigger and bigger because that was what was cool, and now we're back to this ultra tiny, which makes that thing look huge. A lot of the evidence for it is like that. So, but we'll get into that and we'll see what you guys think about it. This right here, not time travel. No, it's pretty cool though. It is pretty cool. They do look very similar, but of course, the thing on the left is American, and the thing on the right is Incan, I do believe. And there is some interesting aspects to that, but and we can look at the Sumerian stuff as well. But I never really myself saw it as time travel. I simply think most people look at it as the ancients were more advanced than we gave them credit for, or at least had ideas of advancement. But maybe it's a time travel aspect. I don't know. What do you think, Booster? Booster
I
left.
think he just did like voodoo magic to like see the future.
Maybe. Maybe it's voodoo
I'm eating
magic.
noodles.
What kind of pie?
Yeah.
Noodles? I thought you were a
Yeah.
pie guy.
I'm eating noodles right now, sister. I don't have money.
Oh, he doesn't have money. So when he has
I'm
money, he eats
I'm
pie.
buying Pokemon this. I'm buying Pokemon this week, so I'm not gonna have money.
I see.
So it's
Did
noodles this week, baby.
did you see my coffee Akihabara last night?
I did not. Was that time
Yeah.
travel?
No, it wasn't time travel at all. I had a
But it's in the
great.
past now, Chester.
It is in the past. But I talked
Yeah,
to John Boyd
time travel.
Myers, which was really cool. And
Mhm.
but in my top of the week thing, I actually did talk about the video games coming out this weekend. I talked about
Oh,
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
oh, oh my God! Did you have positive things to say about it?
I did actually, because I actually went and did my job and my due diligence, and I researched it.
Did you bring up how not every single Pokemon is going to be available in that game, and
No,
that's
I did
really
not.
crap?
I was just positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I
That
also know
pisses
that
me off.
you can. One of the things they're looking at doing, or they're not looking at, they're doing, is instead of you having to constantly worry about breeding, they're going to allow you to basically pull pieces out of your Pokemon and drop them on other Pokemon. So I guess it's a more
That
rapid way of
that
getting to it.
sounds terrifying.
It does. It does. It sounds
Yeah,
murderous. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, but we're not here to talk about Pokemon. We're here to talk about time
Uh-huh.
travel. Now,
All right.
but this isn't necessarily time travel, or is it? I think one of the conversations that needs to come up before we jump into the various things we can talk about is, what is time? Because time is a strange concept, really, if you spend any time thinking about it. And if you really want to get to the gist of what this modern science says, is that time is the fourth dimension. They've been stuck on this for quite a while, and the idea that in the fourth dimension you can look at time as its complete linear self. So imagine there's a tunnel, and in that tunnel or that cord, let's think of it like that. That cord reaches from the beginning of time until the end of time. And in the fourth dimension, you are sitting above that, floating like Superman above it, looking down upon the cord of time, and you can interact with any point of that at any time and see it. This is the idea of the fourth dimension. Now, where do they get these dimensions for? They're up to 12 now, I do think, do believe. And do keep in mind, they change what they think dimensions are all the time. And what it comes right down to is they don't know anything, Booster. They have no clue. It's just science fiction put in a nice shiny veneer of a professor said it. But there is an
But we know
interesting.
about tachyons.
Do we?
I don't. I just know the word tachyon.
Yeah,
I
it's a great word.
because it like they're particles that like go backwards.
Yeah.
That's
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I
They're
know
also a
about that.
particle that can pass through matter no matter the density, which is interesting.
Yeah, we call
But
him the Flash.
Okay, but there is
Yeah.
one little aspect of time, science aspect of time, that is very true. Einstein made a point of it, as well as many others. And of course, you don't need Einstein to tell you because you've all experienced it. Time is relative to your emotional state, right? If you're bored with something or you're in something where adrenaline is pumping, time can seem to stop, but yet at other moments time flew and what happened to it, right? So perception actually has quite an impressive effect on time, as with this type of situation. Booster, if this happens, how long is that 7 seconds?
How long? Centuries, I'd imagine.
I'd imagine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You'd have your entire life flash before your eyes in that 7 seconds.
mhm,
You'd be having a lot of things to think about in a whole 7 seconds. Oh Lord.
I do believe so. But
Whew.
so this is kind of my introduction to time travel. And I'm not being angsty. I just not really sure. It's the most interesting one for me. But there's a lot of fun stuff around it, though. So I'm going to
Mhm.
take it from that point of view because there is some killer fun stuff.
Let's talk
So
about fun stuff. Yeah.
yeah, there is. Now, before I jump over and start looking at all the articles I prepared for us to just interact with and chat, let me see what the chat has to say, and then I'm going to come over here and let Thundero and Booster give their opening soliloquies. Let's see here. Nixie is
Before you do
accusing.
that, I don't have anything like prepared or anything. Booster just asked me to come in to help you guys
It's just
out
like
tonight.
there's only two people here. Help!
Yeah, no, that's okay. You can still give a soliloquy on
But
anything you want. How
I
about that?
do wonder
Uh-oh.
about a couple of things though. The first thing I want to talk about is the grandfather paradox. Do you know about this?
Yes, I do. Go ahead and elaborate.
So there's two possible outcomes, theoretically, of course, right? If you were
Uh,
to go back in time and kill your own grandfather, would you just disappear, or would this cancel out the act entirely if you went back in time to kill your grandfather? Because that would cancel you out, canceling out you ever going back in time to kill your grandfather in the first place.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
What happens?
What happens? Well, seeing as I don't think time travel is actually possible at all. But beyond that, let's speculate. I would say it wouldn't matter because if you had removed yourself from time, theoretically, and therefore
Mhm.
moved yourself into another time, you are now and forever removed from the time stream itself. So any action you would take would not be that action of your existing self in the timeline. It would be of yourself outside of the timeline. So
But
therefore,
then
if
would
you
I
killed your
exist again?
grandfather, you wouldn't ever exist because your current time is the time that you are. So it would wipe you out of
Oh,
existence, but you are in existence because you exist. Solved that. Solved it.
yeah. That just no, I didn't get any of that.
I
I
got it.
didn't catch
Thundera
any of
got it.
that at all.
Which
Thundera
is
got it.
why the movie Endgame is really stupid and makes no
Yeah, yeah,
sense
yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
Uh,
But anyway,
Is that where we're going? Is that where we're going?
uh,
hey,
Damn.
you want
this
to
is
talk
now
about
in
time?
game. This is now in game rant stream.
Uh
Here we
oh.
go, boys.
Uh oh.
Yeah.
Uh, oh goodness gracious! Let me see here the chat. It's made of Wimely stuff. Yeah, there you go. Eagle 43 says Sirius Kondo NASA is rumored to be involved with a company known for making shows on Netflix. Since Conde Nast, sorry, not NASA, Nast, pulled rights recently, appears a show may be in the work. Huh? I'm very confused, Eagle. I'm super confused. Let me go back and read your first stuff. Maybe that would help. He says, I come in the future, a world without shadow pulp reprints by yours today. Oh, that's not good. TFT will be getting a shadow Netflix show, as the rumors say. Oh, there. That's what he's on about. All right. I hope so. That would mean money, Booster.
Yeah, but I told him that we'll just be recast by sassy black woman.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Who would be the best
Uh,
sassy black woman for me? Who do you think?
hmm?
And if anyone says
Queen
Oprah, I'm
Latifah.
punching you in the nose.
You can be Queen Latifah.
All right,
I
I'll
want to
take
be.
that. I'll take that. At
I
least I
want
get
to
to be a
be.
lesbian. I
I
get
want to
to
be
enjoy the
CCH. 'H.
ladies.
Pounder.
Huh?
I'm gonna be CCH Pounder.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
say okay. It's
I
okay.
like. I like.
Yeah,
You just want to
yeah.
be named CCH Pounder. That's the only reason you
I
want that.
I
want to be
know.
Amanda Waller.
No, 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 no. Well,
And CTH Pounder is the definitive the wall.
that's true. But I think Thundero should be Miley Cyrus.
I think so. He'll special guest Miley Cyrus talking
Mhm.
about tachyons.
You're
Yeah.
supposed to say she's not black. Can't do that.
Oh.
That was what my
Oh.
was for.
Booster, say she's not black in an angsty way.
She's not black. Mm-hmm.
Tell her that. But
Oh,
okay, okay,
that's
okay,
timing,
okay.
people. Timing's
There
the
you
most
go.
important rule in
There you go.
comedy. We
Uh,
nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
But time travel is a fun thing to talk about for sure. I just was really sad that there's not some really cool evidence, but we're going to go through it anyway and take a look at some stuff. So I did prepare a bunch of things. We'll go through it. If either one of you guys see something you want to latch onto and talk about, just interrupt me. All right. So here are 10 time travel conspiracies that everyone knows because they're all over the internet. I did a bunch of research on this, guys, actually. I was really looking for some stuff. I did find some guys that were from the Philadelphia experiment that said that they were thrown forward in time. And that's it's interesting, but it falls in the same category. It's all hearsay or photographs. And this is hard to make an argument on, at least with flat Earth, which, is ludicrous. But at least with that, there's the fact that the circumference math is incorrect, right?
You just
So,
pissed off our 2 Flat Earth
well,
subscribers.
whatever. But I mean, there's a problem. So there's something to talk about, right? There's something to talk about.
Yeah.
This right here is unfortunately not like that. But here's the hipster. Everyone say, "Ooh, he looks like he's out of time." Really? That's a hockey shirt that he's wearing right there. It's not strange at all. It's a knit. It's not a T-shirt. These sunglasses are very standard for the time. They say he had the modern haircut. Does he? Then everyone around him has the same modern haircut. Are you not paying attention to the picture? Right? He's got the camera in his hand. Once again, the camera was invented more than 100 years before this photograph. Next. Uh, Andrew Carlson hit the
Also,
headlines
I'd like
back.
to say, how do you think these photographs were taken as well?
Yeah, right? Right? Damn it, Booster. That's so perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I think it's about
Uh,
the size of the camera, they're being smaller. But people don't
Hey
understand
guys,
that during that Art Deco period, there was a miniaturization thing going on big time, right? And that they were all about that cool, tight, interesting look. Art Deco pushed that aesthetic, and there were a lot of smaller things. We actually later got bigger and bigger because that's what was cool, right? But they actually had very small, tight cameras back in those days. Now, were they as amazing as the things we have today? Of course not. And one of the things that really sticks in your image from the 40s and 50s and the early 60s is that old, hip-held camera that you see in the movies. But you got to understand that was with the police departments, and the police departments had limited budgets. They're always slow to update stuff, and they needed somewhat high clarity. That's why they used those for such a long time, even though you've had Pentax around for over 100 years, and those are all really tight, small, little, pretty effective cameras. I got one myself, but it's just And I heard
yeah, in
DeWolf.
1890, you bought that one. I got you.
Yep, that's right. DeWolf seemed to want to have to say something about that, so go ahead.
But I'm more interested in the 10 fabulous facts about the Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
DeWolf,
Give that article a click, I think.
yeah,
hey, yeah, I think I'm in that robot mode
you are. You
again.
are. That's too bad.
I'm fading in and out. It's a time shift thing.
It is. Maybe that's the thing. You've just been coming
Oh,
from
good.
the future.
He's existing at 2 times at once.
I can hear you a little bit better. Go
Abnormality
ahead and.
cannot handle this circumference
Oh
machine.
God, Booster. We were hearing you a little clearer. Go ahead and try again.
Help me, please, Captain. I am realms. So. Oh yeah, we're at this guy here. So as far as basic, let me throw out this basic. So I also think in 2 different realms of this time travel. I've done some study concepts of, say, wormholes, hyperspace, and how that works with time. And the other aspect of this is the spiritual aspect that goes along with time travel, in which of creation, when space time was created and for what purpose. And so I've got those to sort of bounce back and forth too, as far as this discussion goes.
Well, do me a favor, DeWolf. Drop out and come back in, because when you did that on us on the FanSpeak, you were much clearer after. Because you're really roboting real bad, and we'd love to hear what you have to say. Just try that again, see if it works.
Yeah, okay.
Obi-Wan says, Chester, you never actually presented any evidence that circumference math doesn't work. Yes, I did. I most certainly did. There are numerous, actually, numerous is even a good word. There are lots of people who have gone out in video and with photography have shown, looking through binoculars, telescopes, super telephoto lenses, and stuff like that, standing on sea level, seeing islands across distances that you should not be able to see people walking on the beach, but yet they do. There are many, many, many of them. I mentioned it several times in both those conversations. I do believe at least one, maybe the first one. But that is the evidence. You should not be able to see those places. Now, I'm not saying that I know what the problem is. I'm just saying that there obviously is a problem. Is the math wrong, or is there some other effect or something going on within the atmosphere that causes some kind of illusion or mirage that makes this effect? I don't know. I don't know. But I know there's a problem, and that's what those people have latched upon. So, and Joshua says, "Oh boy, yeah, you're right. Shut up, Chester. All right."
Yeah,
Andrew
what was that?
Carlson hit the headlines back in March 2003. That's not that long ago, as he made a stock investment of $800, only to make $350 million just 2 weeks later. Well, dude, claps, man. Good for you, man.
Yahoo!
Now, then he said he was a time traveler. That's why. You idiot. They're going to take your money away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is that against some kind of like? Do we have rules specifically against investments if you're a time traveler? I'd like to know if that law exists.
I don't know. I don't think we
I
do.
feel
No.
like we should at least cover that possibility, right? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
yeah,
seems
yeah,
like a
yeah.
loophole
But I'm pretty
that
sure
people could
Trump
take
would
advantage
have
of.
written it out of law by now. He doesn't like
Yeah,
those kind
yeah.
of things. Yeah. But
Oh,
let
what
me see
happened to
here.
that small loan of $1 million? You think?
Ooh.
Ah.
hmm
Didn't I just joke the other day about Triple T time travel Trump? Theory confirmed.
No, hold on a second, Obi-Wan.
Whoa.
And you think that saying that counts as presenting evidence, present something specific, go through the math and show that it's wrong? Dude, that is most certainly evidence. There are
Uh-oh.
lots and lots and lots of this video and photographic evidence. It's not one dude. It's a lot of people that are showing very clearly, very well documented, even with lasers. There's been plenty of people that have gone out there and done the science, dude. I don't have to spend my time doing it because someone else has done it. They have absolutely proven that you can see distances that you should not be able to see. That is not actually even an argument, Obi-Wan. Now, if you want to get into a conversation why that may be, that's fine, because I don't know why it is, but I know that that is a thing. It's not my opinion. It's not a guess. It's not speculative. It's nothing like this time travel stuff. That is
We're
legit,
talking about
dude.
time travel, Chester.
Yes, I know.
We've done Flat Earth, for goodness sake.
I apologize. Stay on topic. Stay on target.
Time
Now this
travel, Chester.
time travel. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna play a video. Damn it.
Alright,
Now, this is from a Charlie Chaplin movie. You got this dude going by, you got this lady going by here on the street, and it looks like she's on a phone, right? Right? Oh, here we go again. Here we go again. It looks like she's on a phone. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Looks like she's on a phone. Let's get a little closer here.
Oh, I got you on this
She
one.
looks like she's on a phone. Now, she could be insane. It's possible. Or it could be one of those. A lot of people seem to think it's one of those old listening devices you put up to your ear, one of those old horns. And of course, at this time that this was made, there was quite a bit of technology. This is this is something, DeWolf, that gets me because people think modern technology is a modern thing, and it is only now, right? But the past 200 years has been, and even a little bit more, but specifically the past 200 years, there have been giant steps in science, and there's been all kind of people putting out cool, weird things. It's not new. right? And at this time, they had the old-fashioned hearing horns that they would use, but there was
Right.
also some things coming out with an audio effect, particularly something that Edison was very interested in, as well as Graham Bell. She's very clearly holding something, but it doesn't mean it's a phone. I mean, come on, why would you take all the effort to put yourself in a
Well, let's
perfectly period clothing and then walk around with a damn cell phone? That wouldn't work anyway because there's no damn cell towers. Right, sorry.
okay. Well, here's the thing about that though. You're looking at this from. I think a lot of people look at this from. They think it's a cell phone because we have them now, and we're thinking about things from now and in doing time travel.
Yeah.
Do you think if people can do time travel, they're going to be walking around with a cell phone?
Yeah, they probably have something more advanced that's been burrowed into their
probably do
head, like
that,
Johnny
yeah.
Mnemonic, right? Yeah, you're right. You're
Probably
right.
just be on my phone like, so anyway, yeah, I went back in time, and there's a bunch
Right?
of crazy crap. Would you look at this?
Yeah.
Hey, check this out from the future. Whoa. Asuka asks a mandatory cliche time travel question for the panel. Would you go back and kill Hitler before he rose to power?
No.
No.
Yeah, I would.
Why?
I'd put baby Hitler in a blender just for a laugh.
I think I would be more inclined to take out frickin' Churchill than Hitler, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
I'd do it just for bragging rights, to be honest.
Okay,
I
all
think
right, that's
over
cool.
thinking of time, over the next 100 years or so,
I'm a
Hitler will
messed up
become
man.
less of the villain that Churchill actually was.
Oh yeah, no, I think so. Well, anyone who's bothered to study any of that,
We're still
Hitler was
wrong.
not a good guy. I'm not saying that, but
Mhm.
the British were
Mhm.
responsible for all that nonsense, just like they were in World War One. That's the reality. You don't like it? Go research it
And the
yourself.
British killed far more civilians than
Oh yeah,
Hitler did.
yep. But now the Willie Mammoth has the actual statement of the day so far. He says, "What happened if you touch yourself when you run into yourself?" Now that's a major paradox you're talking about right there,
What
brother.
if you touch yourself when you run into yourself? Does it mean touch yourself as in like? Are we talking like a masturbatory
No, he's talking about the
situation?
paradox effect, where if you come in
'Cause-
contact with he wasn't, I think he was probably alluding to a
right.
sexual reference just because he thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But what he really means is if you come in contact with yourself, what happens?
Is
Time
that
Cop,
masturbation or incest?
it's both.
Ah,
It's
okay.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
All
definitely
right.
both.
Good talk. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glad
good
we
talk.
covered that.
I'm glad we
Yeah.
did.
Oh, yeah, you
Murder
Important topic
yeah.
for TFT.
Yeah, important. Now
Yeah.
here's another one here. The factory workers. This one, let me show you the video real quick because I think it's quite obvious. It's a cloth. She's not. It's not a cell phone at all. And once again, 1938. We actually had film at that time. Just so you know, we're watching it. It's actually on film. Watch her here. And she's coming. She's going to be here in a moment. Damn it. I could have cut that a little bit better. A little better editing, please. Where is she? They're taking an awful long time. This is horribly edited. Should have been right on top of it. Like that other video was well done, actually. Is this them? Is this a group back here? Is this them? These people working. No. She was a young and looking girl. Kind of cute. There she is. Oh, now you waited 40 seconds to get to a point where you paused it. Now hold on a second. She's chatting with her friends. Now we'll wait till she brings down her hand. Boom. Is that a cell phone or is it a cloth?
The woman seems to be holding a cell phone.
What do you think? What do you guys think?
I mean, that could literally be anything. It could just be a piece of paper, and she just crumpled it up in her hand.
Yeah.
Like, see, they're walking out of work, right? Maybe it was an old time card or something. She's like,
Yeah. Well,
the shadow of her hand makes it any color you want, plus the fact that it's not in color. So there's no real way to know what that is.
That's
Why
true.
is conspiracy footage always shady and crappy quality?
Well,
it's
this
annoying.
is very old. Let's be fair. But the one thing for me that's interesting is I get why people see that, but once again, where are the cell towers? How is she using a cell phone in a time that had no way to use cell phones? Unless it's some super space phone that can talk through time.
Mm-hmm. It's like a year 3000 cell phone that she's on. This is a time travel from very distant.
That's right. That's way future. Now, here's the thing,
Yeah.
though, Booster. What if that is a walkie-talkie, and she's talking to her man who is waiting for her in the car and saying, "I'll be there in a minute, baby." What if that's what she's doing?
Kisses.
Huh?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, why wouldn't everyone be freaking out around her? I
Right?
was like, what the hell is that you have? What is that?
Or
Mhm.
who the hell are you talking to, you crazy broad?
No, you crazy bitch. You have to go to the mental institution right away.
Good job. You do that well.
We got this
Oh
crazy
my
wee broad
God.
just
You
walking
got me.
around talking to
You
a
got
little
me.
box in her hand. I'd
All
like
right.
to go to
I was
the
drinking
building
coffee, you
Oh,
bastard.
do it.
All right. Now, this one actually is pretty interesting. I actually heard this one before. This is fun. Robert Victor Goddard. Now we know who he is. This guy's, of course, he's an air marshal, but he's also a lot of things are named after him. He's a very important guy when it comes to flight and stuff. And he was flying, and there was a storm, and then all of a sudden the storm was gone, and it was sunny. And he was going back to his field. It was weird where he was going to land, but he saw a whole bunch of people in blue uniforms, and all the planes were painted yellow. And he was like, "What the hell's going on?" And he flew away, and he went and landed somewhere else. Then and he didn't understand. This guy's highly respected. You know, you guys have heard his name, I'm sure. And of course, 4 years later, they changed the uniforms to blue, and all the planes were painted yellow. So, I just put that in a real quick nutshell. I'm sure they said a lot more in here, and there's probably whole documentaries on it. But that's about it.
They just paint the planes. Is that the conspiracy?
Well, meaning
That's lame.
he had jumped 4 years into the future is what the suggestion is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or they're just different colored planes.
No. It's okay. Booster doesn't understand everything. It's all right, guys. But
Yeah,
This one.
clever.
yeah, it's all right.
Now this one's actually very interesting.
The Goddard one.
The others, right?
Oh, the next one, Rudolph Fentz, yeah. But I think it's kind of cool, a little story though. But yeah, Rudolph Fentz is certainly more.
How do we know that that wasn't the reason they changed it? It's because they liked the way it looked on his plane. He was just like ahead of his time.
No, well, no. His plane didn't change. He was coming down to land in the field, and where he was supposed to land, and all the guys running, all the ground crew running around were in blue uniforms, which they weren't supposed to be, and when he took off, and all the planes that were on the ground were painted yellow, which they weren't when he took off. So he
Oh,
thought
so
something
he
was
was
weird
just
was going
tripping.
on.
I gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, that's cool.
yeah.
He had a
But
little
then,
bit of a, they didn't have those pressure regulated back in the day, so a bunch of air rushed into his bloodstream, into his brain, and caused him to have a hallucination. That's all it was.
Probably. But the ironic thing, of course, he was just an airman at that time. He wasn't important like he became. He, of course, 4 years after that, they did change the uniforms to blue, and the planes were painted yellow. So eventually, the scene he saw did actually become a scene that could have been seen. Did I cover that? I think I covered that. It's much better now. Okay.
Yeah, I think you would need a lot more specificity to convince me that that was a time travel event.
So they painted the planes.
Blue and yellow. I seen that before. I seen that one time. Like,
Well,
okay,
dude, that's the problem
comic.
with time travel.
That was-
Everything is like that until we get to The Simpsons, and then it gets real. All right. DeWolf, you're interested in this one. Go ahead and read it off. This one is Rudolph Fentz. Go ahead.
It was the last one I was talking about as far as being interesting, because it
Oh,
comes from this brand. What really gets me though is the possibility that, see, because he needed all these other people. He needed that airfield, and so I had this possibility he was allowed to slip forward in time to safety, and then he was later on, and that was a spiritual event.
maybe. Yeah, you could look at it like that for sure. Yeah. This Rudolph Fentz one here, however, is well known. It's spoken about quite a bit because you basically have a man that they're suggesting jump forward about 80 years or almost 80 years into the future because he was dressed in 1800 clothing. He got hit by a car. He just appeared in the street, got hit by a taxi. But his clothing was from the 1800s. He had a copper coin, a copper token for beer. which didn't exist at that time, in his pocket. He was dressed in 1800s clothing, like I already said, and there was a bill for the care of horses and the washing of a carriage, $70, a letter, which is a lot of money, a letter from 1876, and business cards. Well, I have socks that are more than 20 years old. I keep a coin in my bag that I've had for 23 years. So, no. They said they showed no signs of aging. All right, all right. Well kept. But this one is very famous because a New York police detective actually researched this in depth because it was so bizarre. But this one's very famous. You guys ever heard of this before?
I think I have, yeah.
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 I have heard of it. I haven't like looked into it or anything, so I don't know, specifics on it. But there's a lot of different reasons that could have been. He could have just been a dude in theater or something, and he was in a costume, and he just walked out and got killed.
Or he could have just been one of those retro people who like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Could be any number of things. But he did find the photograph. Once again, 1850 photograph, or what, 1876 photograph. Camera's been around a long time, folks. Now, this one is funny. I'm not even going to get into it too deeply, but you see this same face, almost perfectly same face throughout time. I think Photoshop was involved. Because this guy right here, Von Helton, you can go on YouTube right now and you can find videos of him doing karaoke. You can. Go ahead. Go check it out. Von Helton does karaoke. It's awesome. He's got like 500 subscribers or something. It's awesome. This right
That's
here,
terrifying.
it's terrifying. This right here is funny because this one is in this list. And my question is, why is it in this list? Because it's put as legitimate, but this is a commercial. It was a commercial for an old age home. Make sure you get your stuff in order for when you get too old, you can't do it. And the younger self finds a tunnel and he meets himself, right? And they both have the same tattoo. But I mean, this is a commercial, guys. But yet it's on this list. All right, whatever. Moving on. Once again, number 9, the Chinese tomb, the miniature watch. Once again, proven as a hoax long time ago. Why is this still on this list? This was a hoax. This is proven. So I don't know why it's on the list. Some of the other ones are more interesting, but these two right here and that one I'm up here is definitely a hoax. And then of course, John Teeter, which is the big one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now I don't see much mention of it now, but I do remember when the whole Teeter thing was going on, a lot of people were talking about him being Donald Trump. This is way before he was ever. This is when he was popular. This is when the Democrats loved him, right? Do remember that they used to love him, right? And there were a lot of people making reference that John Teeter was actually Donald Trump. Now, why would they say that? Well, there's several reasons, and one of the interesting ones comes down to Baron Trump. Time travel conspiracy theory, because there's a book called Baron Trump Adventures in Time, or Adventures in something, written by this guy, and it talks about his father, who is Don, or the master, sorry, is Don. And there's another work he did talking about the last president. Ooh. Now this one is its own. We could do a whole show on this, to be honest with you. So I would suggest if you're interested in the Baron Trump thing, go check it out yourself. And there's whole documentaries on it. But it is interesting, though, guys. I'm sure you've heard of this. What's your opinion on this 19th century book written by the adventures of Baron Trump and the master who he meets named Don? And this same writer wrote a book called The Last President, dealing with Trump. What do you guys think about that?
I can believe it.
I actually have this book on on my laptop. Somebody digitized it and I downloaded it. It's actually pretty cool. It's probably just a coincidence.
I think so.
Or maybe Trump has read that book and that's why he named his son Baron. But it is a pretty interesting story. I have seen people make the claim that Donald Trump is a time traveler because he does weird things, and for some reason it turns out to be the right call.
Yeah, always
Later on,
right.
and I don't know. I think if he was a time traveler, I don't think he would come back to be president of the United States.
Gotta be a little
just seems like a waste of time.
Yeah, right, right,
What?
right.
What? How you could change the entire future by being president. You had the power to do that. Like maybe that's why he wants the wall so bad. He knows something.
Maybe he does.
Well,
Maybe he does.
if
That's what-
if the president had that much power, he'd have that wall already.
Well, now do keep in mind he hasn't been building; it's just not completely finished. But this one, like I said, is a big one. You can go watch. Like I think this right here is a documentary on it. To be honest with you, let me click on it real quick. This one is not that long though; it's only about 4 minutes. But there are full things on the Barron Trump thing. It is interesting. It is pretty interesting. But you know, I want to have a little more fun with it. Now this over here. This site I thought was pretty interesting because these people are very serious about this. 15 eerie details about theories about the Montauk Project and Camp Hero. Da, da, da. Now the thing about Montauk, it's very interesting. We could throw Montauk into any number of TFT shows. To be honest with you, but they chose the tiny town of Montauk, New York, to keep its secrets. The Montauk Project may have spun off from a CIA assassination program. The base was underground, literally. Researchers discovered they could use radar for mood alteration and thought control. Dun, dun, dun. The Montauk chair allowed people to focus their psychic abilities. The Montauk chair made spontaneous objects creation possible. Ooh, that's awesome. I want that power. In the seeing eye experiment, researchers could remotely control people's thoughts and behaviors, etc., etc. Now, the reason it ties into the whole this is a very interesting site, actually. If you want to go read it, you should. It's funny. But the thing with Montauk, it was obviously some kind of government thing. But the most interesting tie into time travel for me is the fact that we all know the Philadelphia experiment. Something really bad happened. Something screwed up. Tesla and several other people were involved, Einstein as well. And something bad happened. And a lot of people died. Some so much so that some people got fused into the freaking deck, and this is documented. It supposedly.
Brutal.
Yeah, brutal. But did they travel through time? Because ultimately they were trying to make the boat invisible. Was the project? That was the whole point. They were trying to create stealth technology. The connection to Montauk is when things started going bad. Two of the crewmen on the boat jumped off. What was the name of the boat? The Philadelphia experiment boat. Oh, damn it! It's on the tip of my tongue.
I don't
The
remember.
SS implication.
No, it's well. Anyway, the boat. Two of the crewmen jumped off into the water, and they found themselves off the coast of just in the water on the beach of Montauk, and they went in and just walked onto the land. Of course, they were nowhere near that, but supposedly. But that's the real time travel connection. And then, of course, the government got involved here on Montauk, and they did all the crazy stuff. Even the Monarch Project, and what was that other one dealing with telepathy and psionics and stuff like that? What was that called? What was that
I don't remember
project?
what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
What, MK Ultra?
Yeah. Even some of that was take place here in Montauk. So Montauk obviously was a place where the government, it's a small little island. They completely controlled. It's a military base, Camp Hero, I guess. And they did a lot of experiments because they had complete control of the environment. Makes sense, right? Men who stare at goats. That's right, Willie. You're absolutely correct. But this is a great little article. It goes into all kind of crazy stuff, man. And I suggest you go check it out. This is a Graveyard Shift, I guess is the name of this page. And if we look up here, it's the ranker dot. Oh no, it's not Graveyard. I do apologize. The rank www.ranker.com lists facts about time travel and the Montauk Project. It's pretty interesting read. I don't have the Eldridge. Thank you very much, Willie. The USS Eldridge. That's right. But it's fun reading, so I suggest you go check it out. But you know what we need to do? We need to really have some fun with time travel. It's booster time.
That's not fun.
Oh, 16 times the Simpsons accurately predicted the future.
Hmm. Are you
Oh
ready?
my god.
Are
Okay.
you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We're diving in
Accurately.
deep because this is the evidence
Actually
right here.
knew.
Uh-oh.
Matt Groening, the time traveling pedo.
Go ahead, dude. You're up.
Oh, well, what do we got? Siegfried and Roy's Tiger Shark, predicted in 1993, came true in
Tiger.
2003.
Where the hell do you see shark? It's tiger attack.
What? A tiger attack? Why did I say tiger shark? Well, I got something on my Do I have dyslexia or something? I totally read that as shark. Oh my god. That was brutal. After Springfield decides to legalize gambling, Mr. Burns opens a casino where German magicians. Oh wow, what is wrong with my speech patterns today?
Gunther and
Ernst perform a routine seeming to spoof the long-running Las Vegas Siegfried and Roy show. Tragically, a bit in which the animated duo is attacked by their tiger came to fruition 10 years later when Roy Horn was mauled on stage by a white Bengal tiger, leaving him partially paralyzed and ending the long-running production.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like that's so much of as a prediction as in a more of a warning of don't screw with tigers. What are you
Pretty much,
doing?
yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
What are you people doing?
Yeah,
All
and
right.
you're sitting out around
I
as a
don't
bunch
think
of
he was
writers, and you're just like, this is gonna happen. You're messing with exactly what Booster said.
Yeah, it's inevitable, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it was the tiger attacking. What's his name anyway? He was something wrong with him, and the tiger was trying to protect him or something. He's trying to drag him off stage or something. I
Aw,
guess is what they
love.
said.
With his mouth
Well, yeah,
buried
how else would
in
he drag
his
him off
bed.
stage?
Blood everywhere.
He grabbed it. He grabbed him with his mouth to drag him off stage. Yes, but he did it too hard and messed his face all up.
So he could eat him later.
I was just trying to give him kisses.
Okay, never mind.
All right, season 6, episode 8. Lisa on Ice, predicted in 1994, came true 2007. During a Springfield elementary school assembly, Kearney asks fellow bully Dolph to take a memo to beat up Martin on his Newton. Apple's early attempt at a personal digital assistant. However, the machine translates the message into "eat up, Martha," instead, foreshadowing the common messaging errors people blame on iPhone's autocorrect technology. Really?
Mm.
You're giving you're giving Simpsons the that for predicting autocorrecting?
Typos.
Really? I'm pretty sure that machines screwed up listening to things a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So this begs the question. As we continue forward, this kind of begs the question: what else in The Simpsons could they have possibly predicted that is terrible and tragic?
yeah,
Well,
we're gonna get
this-
to it, right? Because so far those
this-
things are kind of inevitable, but let's see, right?
This one's giving Simpsons the credit for inventing video chats. But, okay, all right, okay. I gotta go on a little rant about something first, all right? Because the point of science fiction is that we come up with things before they're invented, right? Things like the submarine was science fiction once upon a time until it was invented and made true. What we got is Simpsons gonna have a space station in it with I don't know portals and black holes and shit in it, and we're going to give them the credit for it once that's finally done. I'm pretty sure so many things before the Simpsons had face chatted. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I think Star Trek
many
did that.
things.
Yeah,
Many.
Star Trek at least 30 years before that.
At
I'm
least,
pretty
yeah.
sure Flash Gordon did. Pretty much every single sci-fi comic book ever written.
Oh,
in the
Flash Gordon
50s.
definitely did. Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
you're saying is there's a conspiracy of science fiction writers in which they're able to go into time machines and see things in the future and then bring back those ideas to present as their own ideas in fiction.
Seems like a
In The
good
Simpsons,
good use
yeah.
of time travel. Yeah,
It sounds
Seems
good.
like
Sounds
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah. And I do believe Charlie Chaplin's Metropolis had one of those things in it too. Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Yes. All right. Scroll down a wee bit then. Faulty voter machines. Season 20. Oh my! How many seasons is? How many seasons are they going to let this thing have before they let it die? It stopped being good after season 7, for goodness sake. Predicted in 2008, came true in 2012. In a bit inspired by the 2008 presidential election, Homer tries to vote for Barack Obama, only to have a voting machine record his selection as John McCain several times. Coincidentally, when it came time for Obama to run for a second term in 2012, video footage emerged of a Pennsylvania machine switching a vote from Obama to one of his Republican opponents, Mitt Romney. The machine was reportedly taken out of commission. So, just a little joke about voter machines
as
acting
if it
weird.
has never happened before. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not impressing me. Simpsons isn't impressing me,
I
Booster.
feel like The Simpsons is predicting well, predictions, quote unquote, is just things that have happened earlier, but they're giving credit to The Simpsons for some strange reason. All right, the God particle in season 10, episode 2, The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, predicted 1998, came true in 2012. The existence of the Higgs boson or God particle, a breakthrough that helps explain how everything in the universe has mass, wasn't confirmed by physicists until 2012. But according to Dr. Simon Singh, the author of The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets, after Homer decided to become an inventor in The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, he was pictured standing in front of a blackboard with an equation that predicted the mass of the yet-to-be-discovered particle. That's actually crazy. If you work it out, you get the mass of a Higgs boson that's only a bit larger than the nanomass of the Higgs boson actually is. He told The Independent. It's actually kind of amazing, as Homer makes this prediction 14 years before it was discovered. That I don't actually have anything for. That
No,
if
that's
that's true,
pretty
that's
interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, I've seen this one before. And obviously, some of the people who are writing on The Simpsons were really into physics because I've seen this thing put up before, and it's pretty impressive, actually. This one
Yeah.
gets a check. We like
Okay,
this one.
I'll give them this one. Yeah, there you go. That's cool.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
NSA spying scandal. The Simpsons movie predicted in 2007. Is that how old the Simpsons movie is?
I guess so, yeah.
When the Simpsons family is forced to go into hiding following their escape from the EPA.
EPA.
Right? Yeah, I know. If you've seen the movie, Chester, Grandpa goes EPA. Whatever.
All right.
EPA biodome enclosing Springfield, the NSA locates Marge and the kids by listening in on one of their conversations. However, it wasn't until 6 years later the Simpsons movie hit theaters that Edward Snowden first blew the whistle on the government mass surveillances of America's phones and internet recordings.
The government's been able to listen into every single phone
Forever.
call you have ever made since 1964.
Yeah. And of course,
This
Bill
wouldn't-
Clinton went and made it legal. And that was way before this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dumb.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Clinton.
yeah. We've all known that. Yeah. Never mind. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew that was going on in the early '90s.
Yeah. Smartwatches season 6. This falls back under the bloody science fiction thing, right? I'm pretty sure people have had watches that do crazy shit in cinema and television for decades now.
We'll just skip this one because
Skip!
Dick Tracy. Yeah. Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crying out loud.
Oh, all right. Okay, what do we got here? America's Ebola outbreak. The installment saw Marge offer to read a depressed bard a book titled Curious George and the Ebola virus.
Oh my God.
Well, we'll give that a check because it did happen. We'll give that
Widely
a check.
circulated during the 2014 Ebola outbreak. That's crazy.
Curious George and the Ebola virus.
Book name is so racist.
That is awful. I love it.
What?
Oh no.
Oh,
What? I missed something.
It's just, I
$19.97.
don't think it's racist, but I could already hear leftists today saying that that's racist because Ebola, Africa, monkey, Africa. Yeah, I can already see him doing the correlation.
I
Yeah,
get
that's
you,
what
There you
I'm
go.
I
Mental
get you, I get you.
gymnastics.
Yeah, well,
Oh.
that's a weird one for me, because they're saying you mentioned monkeys, so you must be talking about the black man. But I thought we were
Wait,
all
no,
supposed to
you're
be
the
from
racist
monkeys.
weirdo.
Well,
No,
dude, I thought
monkeys
You're
we
the
were
one who
all
made
supposed to be
that
from monkeys.
correlation.
Isn't that their idea?
Yeah.
Why are they more a monkey than me? If that's offensive to them, should it not be offensive to me? It's certainly offensive to Wolf. I know that. He takes not kindly to such comments.
That's true.
Yeah, well, that is a weird one. They get upset about that. But then again, that brings us back to the watermelon fried chicken conversation. Everyone loves watermelon fried chicken. You don't get to own that.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat me
I
some
love
fried
me some
chicken
fried
and some
chicken.
watermelon,
Oh,
so
yeah.
y'all go to hell. Right?
Don't
Even
the
if you're a
Japanese
time
have,
traveler.
Don't the Japanese have like the biggest watermelon market in the world too? Aren't they like
Oh, we
crazy
have
for
great watermelon here, and the fried chicken
Yeah.
is great. But every culture has fried
Yeah.
chicken, though. I mean, it's pretty standard.
Literally, it is the rat of food. Like
It is,
It's
dude.
in every culture eats chicken.
I'm offended by that statement.
What do we got? FIFA's FIFA's corruption scandal. 1 year between prediction and came true. So that's already ringing bells for me. But as I say, although the World Football Federation representative who asked Homer to help repairing for help repairing the organization's image, isn't explicitly named as a member of FIFA, his arrest turned out to be uncannily similar to those of the real-life FIFA officials who were arrested on corruption charges about a year later. Not to mention that the episode also correctly predicted Germany's defeat of Brazil in the 2014 World Cup. That was a hilarious match. Watching those Brazilians cry as they get destroyed on their home turf. That's funny to watch.
Yeah, and then they rioted later. But I don't know. This is more wish fulfillment, I think. I mean, it is more interesting than some of the other ones, but people have been complaining about corruption in FIFA for decades, dude. But
Yeah, that's not news.
not really. But it gets a half a check. We're getting a half a check. What's this one here?
Sort of check. All right. Greece's debt default. Okay, predicted 2012 came true 2015. Okay, again, right? That's only a few years apart. Surely there was some news of Greece's budget going awful in 2012, and they decided to make a joke about it, and it just happened to become true because, well, it was just a prediction. It was just
Actually, a couple years
Yeah, that
before that, the people were concerned of the Greek failure and their possible fallout from the EU. So yeah, it's actually even more than 2 years before
t-
that. Yeah,
I'm more impressed by this when it's like 10 years before the thing happened, right? And it was
right.
something weirdly specific. Yeah.
well,
Um,
I'm sure the weirdly specific one's coming. I know which one should be number one. We'll see if it is.
well,
Yeah,
so far it's not doing so great, man.
No.
Yeah, we got on about 1.5 or something. Nobel Prize. All right, 6 years apart for this one. Bengt Holmström may not have won the Nobel Prize in economics until 2016, but one of Simpsons' characters was betting on him 6 years prior. Okay, that's actually crazy. In a scene from the season 22 premiere, in which Martin holds up a scorecard depicting his Nobel Prize betting pool with Lisa, Milhouse and Database, the MIT professors clearly marked him one of Milhouse's squares. Okay.
I don't know anything about him, so I can't comment. I don't know anything
Oh,
about him.
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but one thing we can definitely say about the writing team at The Simpsons, those guys are plugged in to current culture, and there's some smart people over there.
They're
Obviously,
slurping it up.
they are, dude. Oh
Yeah, too
no,
bad
no,
they don't
this
know
is
how
the
to
one.
write a good thing.
This
Here
is the
we are.
best
Here
one
we
right
are.
here. Here we go.
Season
This is the
11.
double check mark.
Predicted 2000. When Bart flashes forward into adulthood, viewers learn that Lisa not only becomes president, but inherits quite a budget crunch from her predecessor, Donald Trump. The country is broke. She asks her aides in one scene. How can that be? At the time, the real Trump presidency was still 16 years away. However, in 2016 interview with the Hollywood Reporter, writer Dan again explained that the joke was meant as a warning to the country. I bet that's what you thought, buddy.
Not at that time. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet in the year 2000, you're like, oh my God, what if Donald Trump, actual known racist, becomes president? Yeah,
Well,
I'm
they're
sure.
not even mentioning the most important part of it, because one, it's not right. He has an incredible economic boom, not a downturn at all. That was Obama, but and a little bit of Bush too. But the thing they're not talking about is the elevator. I mean, not the elevator, the escalator. Because they show Trump, maybe it's not this one, maybe it's later, but they show Trump coming down a damn escalator just like he did in the real campaign, which that was creepy.
Well, the other problem with this one is Trump had in 2000 ran for president for a brief moment, and then he dropped out of the race
Right.
in the reform ticket or something. And he'd also for literally decades been talking about basically policy things, like political policy,
Sure.
economic policy, and people had been asking him if he was ever going to run, and he kept saying no, no,
Nope.
no, no,
Yeah, he said no, no, no,
So
no,
it's
no.
like, yeah, it's cool that they eventually they got it right, but it really wasn't that big of a stab in the dark as they like to make it out now.
The metal knows Japan because he says, but because we were talking about fried chicken, he says, but does every culture have Kentucky Fried Chicken Christmas? No, they don't, but they most certainly do in Japan, dude. It's hilarious actually because I grew up eating goose and pie. They have Kentucky Fried Chicken and cake. It's weird. Ladies Gaga halftime show. Yeah, okay, that's all right, all right. But how long was that before? 5 years. All right, we'll take that one.
Disney's Fox
Disney's
takeover.
Fox takeover. No, I remember
Okay.
this one. This was a big one too. That's
1998. Okay, that's
Yeah.
quite a prediction.
Yeah. But then again, Disney has been trying to deal with their arch nemesis, Fox, for a long time, and there were a lot of talks about Disney buying them for forever. So it's not that big a leap, but that is interesting. The teams USA Olympics curling win. Well, America wins everything most of the time, so that's not strange. Dragons fiery rampage on Game of Thrones. I don't even know this one. Come on, where's the
They
one I want?
probably
They don't
just-
have it.
What?
They really don't even have it?
That's
Oh,
crazy, dude.
Time
Oh, wait a second.
Magazine. What are you doing?
So hold on. Before we get to that one, let's bring up something. If you want to talk about predictions and this being Disney, they never were able to predict the downfall and destruction of Star Wars, even though they have time travel.
Ooh, good point. Very good point. But no,
Yeah.
the best
They would have,
Simpson
because
one.
Star Wars is perfect now.
No, the
Nothing
best.
wrong with it.
Well, that's true.
You incel.
Yeah. But the best one is Trump coming down that escalator on The Simpsons,
No, the
running for
best
president.
one is 9/11. They
Oh, that one. I'm
predicted
getting to
9/11.
that. Oh, okay. You there you go. I've been waiting.
It was
I've been
on
waiting.
this list.
All the rest of this stuff is done. Although I'm going to mention this one real quick because Nick Cage has been a vampire and a time traveler. If you look at these dates here, for decades, it's quite impressive, actually. But
I can believe that.
anyway, let me get time
man's
traveling
a
stars.
loony.
Let me just go through this real quick because I thought it was funny. Okay, here is Johnny Depp. Definitely Johnny Depp. Eddie Murphy looks not really anything at all the same. No.
That's not
Yeah.
close.
This one's good. I like this one, but no.
That's pretty good.
This one, dude, do you realize how common
Almost?
his face is?
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z has the
Oh,
most common
racist.
black man's face I've ever seen. Right?
Like,
Hey, whatever. Nick Cage. Actually, Nick Cage. There's only
Whoa.
one here, but there's like 6 or 7 Nick Cages. It's
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
going way back.
Yeah.
way back.
That's not bad.
Paintings
That's
and
not
everything.
bad. No. It doesn't
Not
look
even
anything
close.
like
No,
him.
the
What
eyes
are you
aren't the
doing?
same.
Not
The
even
eyes aren't the
close.
same at all.
No. God, no. And let's not talk about Travolta ever again, ever. Please.
Well, there's some really good ones of Keanu Reeves. I'm surprised that
What's your
wasn't
beef with Travolta, man?
He's washed up.
there. I
Well, you know,
liked him in Face Off.
happens to everybody.
It does. It's true. But 15 bizarre signs in
But
popular
he
culture
had the
that
greatest
predict
comeback
nine.
I think, in Hollywood history.
Where?
Sorry. He had the greatest comeback in Hollywood history.
Battle
He went from
Earth?
being
Battlefield
like
Earth? Is that one? That was that one?
no.
The
Okay.
Fan? Maybe it was that
You're
one.
old enough to remember the 70s, right?
Of
He was
course.
he was the shit. He was the shit in the 70s.
Welcome Back, Kotter, baby.
Saturday Night Fever. Welcome Back, Carter. You had Grease and some other stuff, and then like all through the 80s, he's just doing these weird movies, and then all of a sudden, Pulp freaking Fiction.
Yeah, you're right.
And then he was
Yeah,
in
baby.
he was in Get Shorty, and he was in like Michael and a bunch of other
Swordfish.
stuff.
Swordfish was
The
pretty good
Swordfish.
too. Yeah.
My favorite one though is even over Pulp Fiction was Get Shorty. I think he was coolest there.
But
But you know, there
Face
you go.
Off.
We went off in another
Face Off.
direction, and now you can go. Yeah, Face Off is good too. You can go back
like
to
Face
your
Off.
time travel stuff.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But he has not been good for a while. Although I agree with you 100%. Anyway, 9/11 stuff, guys. Now this is creepy because this article doesn't even begin to touch it, actually, because there are so many movies where the clock on the wall is set at 9/11. Newspaper articles have dates of 9/11. There's so much. This is enormous one. And like I said, this article doesn't even begin to touch it. It's creepy. This is creepy. This is the most interesting thing about time travel we have to talk about, in my personal opinion. Johnny Bravo, say it isn't so. No, Johnny, no. All right. I just got to run
That's
through them,
odd.
and we could talk about it after.
That's just the one, but there's a crazy one right there.
There's
Nice.
the Simpsons.
11. That is creepy. That's 1997, by the way. What is that? 4 years before. Ooh, goodness. No, that's not good. What is this one? The X-Files creators came up with the television show called The Lone Gunman, with a pilot episode that revolved around an aircraft crashing into the World Trade Center. Uh-oh.
Ew.
Oh, no. Look at that. That's very similar. Oh, Trade Center Defender game. When did that come out? Oh, that came out the same year, early. So just before.
Early 20.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh no. This one came out on September 11th. Live scene from New York Dream Theater. Ooh, creepy. Okay, yeah, that's creepy. Things are on fire. All right, I get you. I get you. This one from somebody called Coot. The
Oh.
bomb. He blown up the World Trade. He had the bomb. Yeah, because I'm like Black Power. All right, cool.
Yeah, bro.
Nosebleed. Jackie Chan's action comedy was scheduled for a 2001 release, but it was temporarily scrapped only to see the light of day in 2008. Why? Because the storyline featured an attack on the World Trade Center. That's not news. That we did have an attack on the World Trade Center a few years before that. You do realize that, right? This
That's
one.
true.
This one is better timing because it's even got Indian Al Qaeda esque type peoples with Beavis and Butthead flying around. That's funny. That's funny.
Oh my god.
This is the biggest one though. Look at that. The Illuminati. I played this game in the 80s, dude. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, look at that.
Tower and the Pentagon.
Yeah. That was, of course, a terrorist nuke though. Marvel comic books. It's the Germans again. It's the Germans.
Those pesky Germans.
Yeah.
The
Ooh.
Nazis.
The Nazis.
Ooh, look at this one from 79. Oh, that's ominous. That's ominous. Roy Harper Band. Ooh, 1982. What's the problem here? We just got him on the cover. Nowhere ever gets out alive. I get it. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh, Flight Simulator. All right. Terminator 2. Caution. 9/11. Now, like I said, I just kind of picked this up out of nowhere. But this thing, if you're interested in that, we should do 9/11 eventually, dude. That's got to be a hot
Oh
topic,
my goodness,
though.
the 9/11.
But we
Oh,
should do a
no.
couple of shows on it because this little article they have here. What is this? Well, I want to give at least a little bit of credit here. Who is this here? SW, whatever that is. I have no clue.
Nishant Raj.
Okay. But this thing is weird though with the 9/11 guys. It's all over the place, and there are documentaries that talk about it. It's really creepy. Is it just a coincidence, or is it one of those things like what is it? Call all doctors. What is that thing they use in a hospital to for a very quiet, not to panic everybody emergency call? What's it called? Like call all doctors something. I can't remember what it's called, but Doctor All Call, or something like that. It's like a little secret thing they do.
Misdirection?
Well, it's just to not panic the people in the hospital that something bad is really happening and they need everybody on hand. But
Right.
Code Blue.
No, I think it's calling Doctor All Call, calling Doctor All Call. It's something like that. But my point is, is there something in Hollywood, like that phone number that you see everything in the 555, 5555 type of thing? Is it just something in Hollywood where they just use a standard time for everything? Just to, I don't know. It's weird, dude. Because there's so many movies that have the clock set on 9/11. So many. Dozens of them, not like 5 or 6, dozens. It's crazy, dude. Yeah. Anyway, that's our time travel presentation. That was rough, man. That was hard to get through. Not as interesting as some of our other ones, I think, personally. But
Well, I think there's a lot of open ground that we didn't hit though.
do you like what?
Like you kind of started off with. Booster was talking about the grandfather principle and all these other, what if theories actually behind time travel and what it would mean and what it would do.
Oh, I see. So, if we had a conversation about the speculation or theorizing about time travel, yeah, sure, but that's not a TFT. That's just, having speculation about a thing, talking about the various theories.
Well, that's what TFT was.
Nah, I guess it can be sometimes, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I just want to kind of stick to the conspiracy theories because, but I couldn't find anything really that was interesting beyond Simpsons and 9/11. I mentioned all the other stuff just to give a primer as usual, but well,
Okay.
The medal says, well, 9/11 itself is just a standardized for emergency, so it could be a coincidence. Well, that's a very good point, medal. It is 911 in America anyway. Here in Japan, it's 110. What is it in New Zealand?
111.
111, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's a fair point. I'll take that. Yeah. But it is weird. It's a little bit creepy. I'm not saying there's anything to it necessarily. It's just it is creepy. And also predicting some attack coming against the Pentagon. That's not weird. That's a standard idea. Where would you attack the government in America? The Pentagon. All right, so that's not a big deal. And of course the Twin Towers. Well, they're one of the American icons, so I don't think it's odd to see that as being a target either. But I don't know. What do you think, Slade?
I think there should be anti-aircraft batteries on all tall buildings in most metropolitan areas. Most metropolitan areas. That's the only thing I have to say about that. I don't know about the time travel aspect. I think the time dilation is an interesting phenomena that we see. But as for actually, delving beyond that dimension, which time is a dimension, it's a one-way dimension that we travel in. I I don't know. And going backwards, theoretically, there's never been any credence to any math that gives a way backwards. But it's a fun concept. But if we did that, we'd end up probably screwing ourselves up way more than we already are.
Oh, I agree. And the thing with it is, people can envision traveling into the past, post cognition type of things, a lot easier than the future because the future is not yet
Yeah.
set. But it's I don't know. It doesn't make time travel doesn't make sense from simply the way the human brain works in and of itself and how we are embedded in this reality that we're in. Time is really a concept of our own making. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
It,
kind of hard to
it's
think
very
that
it's very much a construct of our own of us. I mean, there's been talk of this. You ever noticed the phenomena that when you're doing something that's not something you want to do, that time seems to elongate, and then when you're having fun, sometimes time seems to contract, like
yes.
you don't have enough time.
I used
And
the bomb
there's
to show
this,
that earlier. I
yeah,
demonstrated it.
there's this idea that we put off a field around our own bodies that we may be affecting time in relation to our own perceptions, and that we're all moving in time right now. Again, like when we talk about time and you like trying to change it, well, I mean, if there's infinite amounts of realities, there's going to be an infinite amount of like choices to break that timeline, and so maybe each one of us are following a timeline that seems to be conjuncted towards each of ourselves. Of course, that doesn't mean that doesn't preclude the idea that we're all living in a simulator.
No, and there's a lot of very smart people who think that's true. And another thing that ties into that, which we already talked about kind of briefly, was the Mandela effect. Because the
Yeah,
Mandela effect
yeah,
certainly can play into a time travel thing quite easily. And because a lot of the theories about the Mandela effect are that realities have become scrunched or fused together in some weird way.
right.
But of
Well, and
course,
there's also deja vu on top of that. I mean, I think every one of us has experienced that weird thing that we've done this before,
mhm,
and I've had it where I know I haven't done it before, and I'm just like, what's going on? And then it just goes away, and you're just like, huh,
mhm.
you know?
Well, speaking of deja vus, like I have this strange recurring dream that happens over and over, where I'm sitting there trying to enjoy a nice soft cream coffee ice cream, a soft cream, and I'm I'm trying to eat it, but every now and then, out of nowhere, like a ninja shadow stepping, Booster comes up and licks it.
That motherfucker.
That's right.
Oh,
Now
sorry.
you bastard, right? And then I look over where he's supposed to be, and then I see him coming from the side, licking it on the other side. You bastard! I go back. It's over and over. It's a nightmare.
Why am I in your dreams, Chester?
I don't know. Why are you
Well,
licking my ice cream?
that's a whole other show.
This is
That's a TFT.
somebody
Yeah.
please bring me some time travel devices. I need to go back about 5 minutes before this conversation happened.
Come
and shoot
on.
myself in the-
Come on. That was a little bit funny. Give me a little bit. Come on. Doesn't
No.
everybody want Booster in their dreams licking something?
I
Oh
want to be in
boy.
people's dreams.
Oh
No,
boy.
not at all.
Licking
I want
things.
the opposite of that.
I want to be licked.
We know that's the butt of the joke.
I
Pixel
want to
says,
be
"Yo
licked
yo."
by you, licked by you, and nobody else but you.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh
Anyway,
boy.
guys, this was certainly fun talking about it. Now, coming, we do have a couple announcements before we get out of here. We are getting a little bit on time. For me, it's a little harder to stay longer because of the stupid daylight savings. You've put me an hour ahead, not behind, actually. But anyway, so I got to definitely cut this short. But a couple of announcements coming up this week on the Ultimate Edition Drone and Quartered. I guess we're doing Sega characters, Booster.
It seems that way we came to that decision. Well,
Rock?
Pixel's in the chat. Unless he has anything else in mind, he better say it now.
Pixel
about
says
Atari
ice cream is a
characters?
euphemism, isn't it? I do believe so, sir.
Uh-oh.
Yes, yes. But unless Pixel has a problem with it, we're going to do Sega characters because the pros are doing Nintendo, and a lot of the artists want to do Sega. So rock on, let's do Sega.
And I want to see Dinah draw Bayonetta.
Yeah, oh yeah, I would like to see that too. Yeah, that's for sure. Her name is Dina, by the way. It's not Dinah.
Yeah, it's Dinah, like
It's
Dinah
Dina,
Lance.
and most certainly
it's
Dina.
Dinah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. But anyway, but the thing we do need to make a decision on before we get out of here, of course, keep in mind tomorrow's California show at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we do need to make a decision what we're going to talk about next
shit.
week, though.
Pixel, see, we're doing Chromosome 96. That's right, you already planned that. Oh, no.
Oh, you're right, dude. We are doing Chromosome.
That's right, we talked about that. Oh.
Well, yeah, but hold on a second, Pixel. Are you sure? Because I just talked to him trying to get him on a FanSpeak show, and he said he has no access to the internet. Are you sure we can do? We need to talk about that off air, I think,
we need to have a
because when I
super
understand,
serious
he can't even
conversation.
do it. So we need to talk about that. But anyway, we also have to make a decision what we're going to talk about on next week's TFT. Are we going to finally take a bite into 9/11?
Oh, we ready for that? We ready for that kind of responsibility?
It's a lot of responsibility.
We're gonna get some crazy ass people wanting to come in the chat.
Dude. We are.
That's gonna be wild.
Which is probably why we held off on it, I think.
Yeah, it's a little it's a little touchy.
Anything else? Anybody other ideas to save us from that cluster that's going to take place with that?
Mars Base Alpha.
I don't know.
MK Ultra and CIA.
We could do the extended NASA conversations with Mars. We could do that, but I don't know. What do you think?
You kind of want to do 9/11, don't you?
I kind of do,
yeah. Yeah, 9/11 for sure.
Slick.
What? I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do, you know. Whatever's interesting and crazy and funny. I think you should explore it to the nth degree.
Well, 9/11 is. I'm going to make people upset, though. I'm pretty sure.
I think it could be funny if you did it right. You know, it's about time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there it is, guys. Next week, TFT.
It's time.
9/11. Now, keep this in mind, but we'll be mentioning this all week. But if you want to be on the show, if you want to come in and give your opinions, and I know everybody has an opinion about 9/11, if you want to come in and talk about that, you just hit me up or Twitter or any of these other guys, and we'll get you on the show, guys. That's what we want. We want to have people who are passionate about it and interested about it to come in and have a conversation. So please do that. And yeah, Pixel, that's as far as what I understand. And if you're cool with that, then I'm fine with it because I love that project. I want to see him be successful for sure. But we'll talk about that off air. But all right, guys, we're going to do TFT next week, and we're going to be doing 9/11. Everyone says gasp. So any closing comments? Dun dun dun. Any closing comments, guys?
No.
Eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables.
I don't like vegetables.
That might have something to do with your hobbit stature, you know.
Eat your meat.
Oh, yeah. I eat my meat, all right.
Oh my God! And all I have to say, boosters, stay away from my damn ice cream. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. This was a lot of fun. My opinion, aliens. Well, there you go. And I'm gonna have to do a lot of work for 9/11, though, dude. There's so much video. I'll have to put in maybe I'll create a video itself. That's gonna be a lot of work.
Well,
but anyway, I'm gonna do it.
Here's what we should probably do is focus because it's huge. right? There's so many different facets of it. So why don't we just do 9/11, the World Trade Center towers, like just specifically that next
Yeah,
week?
well, let's do an
Oh,
introduction
yeah.
primer. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, that's still a lot of work. And Obi-Wan, dude, if you want to come in here and you want to be part of that conversation, come on in, man. That should be fun. Rodwell Stevens says you can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat. I agree 100%. Vegemite was a joke product and never meant to be edible on the next TFT. Well, it's
I could believe
poisonous.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
Vegemite,
Yeah.
No, I
Marmite.
love Vegemite.
If he's trying to trigger me, the New Zealander, it's not going to work because I hate both those things. Vegemite, Marmite's all
triggered.
awful.
I'm
He's
absolutely
I'm
But he
triggered.
triggered
Good,
loves
too,
you
his,
should
dude.
be.
Yeah.
I hope you
but he
triggered.
loves his Nutella.
That shit's disgusting. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
that's totally
awesome.
everything. That's edible.
Can you send me some of that? That's all I want.
Yeah, Nutella is nice.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you
guys,
can have
we're
all the Vegemite in this damn country.
Let's let the young man go.
please, young man, me, awesome. I never get
Yes.
called a young man. Thank you very much. But we haven't had Thundero in here in a little bit, so you know what it means, Thundero? You're on the spot, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Words of wisdom. Give us your namaste moment, sir.
Oh boy, I was literally not even paying attention. Well, there's a good one. Speaking of time, this world goes by really fast. Everything goes by really fast, while time is relative to pain and pleasure. Remember to slow down. Remember to look up and realize how wonderful the universe is, and that you get to be a part of that.
Okay, Ferris.
Oh,
All right.
namaste.
Namaste. I wish I had the
Didn't do
Life of
that.
Brian music up for me. That would have been nice. Thank you
Aloha.
guys very much. Later.